From Fansided.com, headline, 4 New York Mets prospects who could get the call in 2024. Get to know the top prospects in the New York Mets farm system and see who could make an impact in 2024. Now, before we get into this video, and I discuss everything that's going on with these particularly interesting prospects, you need to hit that subscribe button so you know what's going on. And, of course, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. So if you're a Mets fan, you want to subscribe to this channel, so you know. So here we go. We're going to talk about this article, and then at the end of this article, I'm going to read you the prospect reports from MLB.com after every prospect I talk about. The New York Mets acquired a ton of talented prospects to join an already decent farm system. Letting go of 2 future Hall of Fame pitchers could have set them up for the future along with recent draft selections. Right now, the Mets' big league roster contains a ton of veterans. Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and Edwin Diaz have been in New York for quite some time now. Outside of Francisco Alvarez, the rest of the 2023 Mets rookie class wasn't anything special. Since Steve Cohen bought the Mets, he has emphasized his desire to build a strong farm system. He's in the process of doing just that, as the minor league teams have been seeing high-level performances from their prospects. The owner's allowing David Stearns to build up the farm system even more. With his insight, the former Milwaukee Brewers GM might be able to get the best out of the talented prospects New York already has. In 2024, here are 4 prospects the Mets could call up. Number 4, shortstop outfielder Jett Williams. New York selected the speedy center fielder shortstop in the first round of the 2022 MLB draft. After 2 seasons in the minors, it looks like selecting him 14th overall could pay off. If Stearns decides to move Jeff McNeil in the offseason, that would open up a spot on the roster for the versatile Williams. Even if McNeil stays, he could be hauled from a late-season elbow injury in 2024. McNeil had 10 stolen bases in 23, and New York as a whole struggled to swipe bags this past season. Mets had 118 stolen bases, which was the 7th worst in the National League. In 121 total games in the minors this season, the 20-year-old Jett Williams swiped 45 bags and held a 876 OPS. Williams is an elite athlete whom the Mets could use in 2024. Williams is only 5'6", but that hasn't prevented him from tearing it up with Mets minor league teams the past 2 seasons. Today's MLB allows athletes to thrive with new rules changes, and a 20-year-old could do just that. According to MLB Pipeline, Jett Williams is the 3rd best Mets prospect in their system. Mets had 2 top 14 picks in the 2022 draft and used the first 11th overall on a potential quick mover in Georgia Tech catcher Ken Parada, and the second 14th overall on a more long-term project with as much upside in Texas high school shortstop Jett Williams, who's signed below slotted $3.9 million. While Parada pops in his own way, the Williams selection has some scout and evaluators a buzz after he showed one of the best hit tools on the showcase circuit, and he continued hitting in a brief Florida Complex League stay, which he posted 804 OPS in 10 games. Standing at just 5'6", Williams has continued to impress Mets officials with his ability to find the barrel consistently and swing at good pitches to hit. Those skills, combined with his capacity to handle velocity, should translate well to each stop up the ladder as he enters full season ball at 19 years old. Thanks to bat speed and a leg kick that helps him with lift on contact, the Dallas area native has a little more power than his size alone indicates and might settle into 12 to 15 homers annually. A plus runner, Williams is athletic enough to track down balls at shortstop, but is still raw defensively, relying more on his athleticism than instincts. The Mets believe that will change as he gets more access to the pro ranks. But even if he needs to move to second base or center field, he can still be a quality up-the-middle talent whose value lies in his bat. Here's another prospect that could help the Mets in 2024, outfielder Drew Gilbert. After getting drafted with the 28th overall pick in the 22 MLB draft by the Houston Astros, he was sent to the Mets at the 2023 trade deadline in a blockbuster deal involving future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander. The 23-year-old is an intriguing prospect as he held an 868 OPS across 116 minor league games in 2023. Gilbert has an elite glove in the outfield as well, which could serve the Mets well if Brandon Nimmo needs to move to a corner spot. Gilbert's athleticism is what makes him such an intriguing prospect, and the fact he's a lefty as well. New York has a ton of veterans and right-handed bats. From the left side, they lack a consistent threat outside of Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo. In 2024, Gilbert could get a call up to the bigs if he continues to tear up the minors. Across his last 30 games this past season, the Mets prospect hit with a .340 batting average. The outfielder also tallied up 6 homers and held a .1043 OPS. New York might have struck gold on the Verlander trade, as Gilbert could turn out to be a great Met one day. If he starts off his 24 the way his 23 ended, the 23-year-old could see a quick call-up from the Mets. This is Drew Gilbert's scouting report from MLB.com. He might have had the second best stuff among prep pitchers from the upper Midwest in the 2019 draft, trailing only Pirates first-rounder Quinn Priester, but Gilbert's 5'9" frame and Tennessee commitment slid him to his home state Twins in the 35th round. He started as center fielder for the Volunteers, homering 4 times in 7 playoff games to lead them to the 2021 College World Series, posting the best numbers on a club that ranked number 1 in the nation for most of 22. He signed for $2.5 million as Houston's first round choice in 3 years, but played just 10 pro games before dislocating his right elbow after running into an outfield wall. Gilbert climbed quickly from high A to double A in his first full season before moving from the Astros to the Mets and the Justin Verlander deadline deal. Gilbert is extremely aggressive in all phases of the game, yet his superb eye-hand coordination enables him to repeatedly barrel balls and produce high exit velocities. His left-handed stroke can get long because he hunts home runs, and while he rarely strikes out, he does make more ground ball contact than desired. He's not physical, but does have enough bat speed and strength to provide 15 to 20 homers per season without selling out for power. Gilbert has solid to plus speed and uses it to steal and take extra bases. His quickness and instincts allow him to cover ground in center field, where he shows the plus arm strength that produced fastballs clocked up to 93 miles per hour during infrequent college pitching appearances. A fiery competitor with a lot of emotion, he's destined to become a fan favorite but needs to play more under control at times. Another interesting prospect that could get the call-up in 2024 is catcher Kevin Parada. Mets not catching depth in 2023, an early season injury to Omar Narvaez allowed Francisco Alvarez to get the call. Alvarez shined as he tallied up 25 homers and 63 RBIs. After Alvarez, though, New York doesn't have another reliable option. Narvaez had just .211 with .283 on-base percentage this past season. When the Mets rookie catcher needed a day off, the production from that position took a serious dip. With the power Alvarez provides, the Mets could benefit from moving him to DH. This would then open up a spot for a catcher at the big league level, and Kevin Parada could be the one to get the call. After being selected 11th overall by the Mets in the 2022 draft, he's done nothing but impress. In Parada's first full season of professional ball, he had his ups and downs. In single A with the Brooklyn Cyclones, he impressed many, hitting .265 while racking up to 42 RBIs. Once Parada got the call up to the Mets Double-A team in Binghamton, he struggled to get in a groove in 14 games at the Double-A level. He held a .185 batting average. Parada can easily perform at a high level. He just needs to be in a comfortable spot. If he gets comfortable in 24, the Mets could call him up with the lack of catching depth. According to MLB Pipeline, Kevin Parada is the 5th best prospect in the Mets farm system. Parada could have been a fairly high pick in the 2020 draft, but was insistent upon going to Georgia Tech. The alma mater backups Jason Varitek, Matt Wieters, and Joey Bart. The right-handed slugger took the college game quickly with a .929 OPS as a freshman and took off with a .361 batting average and school record 26 homers as a draft-eligible sophomore. Ranked as MLB Pipeline's number 6 draft prospect, Parada went at number 11 to the Mets and translated instantly to the pro game with a .455 OPP and 13 to 12 K to walk ratio in 13 games, mostly at Single A St. Lucie, where he won a league title. Part of Parada's pre-swing setup includes a bat wiggle and a decent leg kick, but he has few issues covering the zone, making contact, and driving the ball to all fields. His exit velocity topped out at 105.5 miles per hour and his brief Florida State League stay, but there should be more in the tank over a larger sample as he settles into pro baseball. Repeating 20-plus homers isn't likely to be an issue by the time he reaches the majors, and his ability to many average and power will drive his place toward the middle of most lineups. Defense has long been a primary focus for Parada, and that's notable considering he looked like he was wearing down with additional playing time at Georgia Tech and with Team USA in 2021. His caught stealing rate gradually improved from his freshman to sophomore years, but his general arm strength still checks in at below average. While the Mets are pleased with his growth in 2023, he remains a work in progress behind the plate. No matter, Parada's potential with the bat is so good that he profiles a potential bat-first, everyday catcher. And the number one player that could be an impactful player for the Mets in 2024, and this is Mets prospect, second baseman Luisangel Acu. The Mets' number one prospect has been turning heads for quite some time now. Luisangel Acu is the 38th ranked prospect in the entire league. That's because of the upside. New York shipped away superstar pitcher Max Scherzer to the Texas Rangers at the 2023 trade deadline, and they were given the 21-year-old phenom. Acu played at a total of 121 games for two teams in 23. He had a .294 batting average, tallying up 150 total hits. To add to that, the top Mets prospect stole 57 bases, bringing his minor league career total to 158. The 5-2 player is what every team is looking for, and the Mets are hoping they have one in Acu. With McNeil's future up in the air with New York, it would make sense for the Mets to call up the 21-year-old in 2024. It would be exciting to see the Mets grant their top prospect an opportunity to shine in the show, as his older brother plays for the division rival Atlanta Braves. Ronald Acu Jr. has praised his little brother for thriving at a high level while being so young. Out of all the talented prospects in the Mets farm system right now, it seems as if Acu is the most ready one. His quickness and versatility will allow him to find success in a plethora of ways for New York. Mets need to get younger. Headed into 23, the average age of the Mets players was over 32. With the prospects they have now, it should certainly help them get younger. If any of those prospects get a chance to play in the bigs in 24, though, it should undoubtedly be Acu. And rated the number one prospect, according to MLB Pipeline, is Luisangel Acu. Acu signed in Venezuela in 2018 for $425,000, more than quadrupling the $100,000 bonus the Braves gave his older brother Ronald 4 years earlier. Luisangel may not have his older brother's superstar ceiling, but he does have the potential for solid tools across the board. He stood out as one of the best all-around players in the 2022 Arizona Fall League and was in the midst of his best season yet as a 21-year-old in Double-A when the Rangers dealt him to the Mets for Max Scherzer this July. Acu attacks pitches with an explosive right-handed stroke and an aggressive approach. He'll draw his share of walks and doesn't strike out excessively, but he chases and swings and misses too frequently against non-fastballs and doesn't always make quality contact. If he can settle down a bit and drive the ball in the air on a more regular basis, he could be a .270 hitter with 20 or more homers per season. Combining solid speed with savvy on the bases, Acu swept 126 bases and 151 attempts during his 2+ years in full season ball before the trade. Early in his career, he faced some questions about his ability to remain at shortstop, but he has shown that he has the solid range and arm to do so. He has the tools and athleticism to play all over the diamond. With Francisco Lindor in New York, Acu could wind up at second base or in center field. Another note about Acu, according to Baseball America, he's considered to be the best defensive player in the Mets farm system. So take that and put that in the back of your mind so you have an idea. He shouldn't have a problem playing any other position besides shortstop. He's considered to be a very good shortstop, and he's considered a guy that can really be good defensively everywhere he plays. So, again, if you're a big Mets fan, you want to know what's going on in the Mets farm system, hit that subscribe button. And, of course, let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you later.